Are you trying to tap into your intuition? Are you trying to increase your intuition? Are you really trying to make more decisions based on your gut feeling and go with the flow of life and really go where spirit, source, God, the universe sends you? Are you trying to go more with the flow of life, right? If this is you, stay tuned for more. Hi, I'm your host, Danielle Cotis. This is episode 13 of Level Up to Glow Up. Today, we're going to talk about how to go more with your intuition, how to listen to your intuition more, and how to go with the flow of life. And I'm going to tap into a lot of us that are in this spiritual world. And we are, on this journey of consciousness, right? Reaching this level of 5D consciousness, coming back to our authentic selves, coming back to our soul and our soul's purpose. We gain lots of information and we're trying to sort of predict our future, right? Or tap into our spiritual gifts or our psychic abilities, right? Where we could see past the veil and possibly see our future. And so as we go through this, I know a lot of us turn to tarot and oracle cards and listening to tarot card readings and who are our spirit guides and who are, our spiritual team and how to talk to our spiritual team and how to tap into this intuition. And so we're kind of like on this like roller coaster of like, okay, how much more information can we get? And maybe you dabble with obviously manifestation and you dabble maybe with some magic and things like that. And we're trying to create things, really quickly and make our life a lot easier, right? And more enjoyable and fun and exciting, right? And so what I did is similar to what you guys are doing is I was kind of like searching for what was the best thing, right? And when I started with this, manifestation and law of attraction, and now I'm kind of moved to highest potential, which is all combined. I was like, oh, I want more money. I want a bigger house. I want a better relationship. I want this. I want that. I want this, right? And then I was like, at the same time, like trying to tap into my psychic abilities and see my future and make decisions based on how my future was going to come out. And so obviously I did what any normal person would do is I started with oracle cards, I started with, and then I went to tarot cards and then I went to tarot card readings, right? And, tarot cards on Instagram and TikTok. And so, I really found that I was really focused on my future and how that was going to happen. And for a while there, like tarot was really great for me. And so was oracle cards. And so was trying to predict the future was awesome for me. Like I loved it. And then it became like an obsession. And all I would do is watch these tarot card readings and do tarot and read my own tarot, my own oracle cards and things like that. And I was trying to tap into this future, right? And at one point, it became like such an obsession. And I originally had started tarot card and oracle cards to get more in touch with my intuition, right? This is what this video is about, and get more in touch with my intuition. And it's a great tool to get in touch with my intuition, as well as if you've ever tried scrying or anything like that, or predicting your day. And it gets really exciting. And then what I found out was that I was sort of basing my decisions only on my intuition based on the tarot cards or the oracle cards or whatever readings I had or however I predicted the day. And I would always consult, right? Always consult the spirit guides and things like that, right? And what I realized was that part of the reason I was doing that was because I didn't trust my own intuition. And if you've ever been in a toxic relationship or a relationship that ended badly or a friendship, or if you have ever had depression or anxiety or anything like that, it becomes really difficult to trust yourself, right? And if you had a traumatic childhood, chances are you aren't going to trust yourself and your intuition. And so that becomes really difficult. So we kind of look outside of ourselves, right? That like psychic mediums know more than us, or tarot card readers know more than us, or the tarot cards themselves know more than us, or other people know more than us, right? And so we spend a lot of time, consuming lots of content, right? And that might mean any spiritual gurus that you watch or anything like that. We tend to think that other people know more than us. And over time, as I go through my spiritual journey, as I share with you, what that sort of does is when we're looking outside of ourselves for the answers or trying to predict our future and make decisions based on how our future will pan out or whatever, it actually leads us to distrust ourselves more, right? Like, I was like, what? Again, this is not to stop you from, reading tarot or watching the videos or anything like that, but just to open your mind that when you are trying to tap into your intuition, like tarot cards and oracle cards is a great way to do that. But I also want you to just take a break for a moment and turn inward and begin to trust yourself a little bit more. So the reason I took a break was because I was, let's say the tarot card reader or the reading I did said that I was going to, find this person or that person in this specific place and time. And I did find somebody in that specific place and time, but I was like, this is not that person that they were talking about, right? And I was like, is it? And then I was like, oh, maybe it is. And so then I started to create my life sort of based on what the tarot card reader said, but it wasn't as, great as it should have been, right? And then I'd be like, but is it really, is this the situation because I was told this was the situation going to become, right? Is this the situation that I want to happen? Is this the highest good of all for everybody? So I started to second guess, am I basing my life off of what these readings are telling me or how I sort of want it to pan out, but is this really the highest good of all? I hope I'm making sense. Let me know if I'm making sense in the comments below. So if you find yourself watching lots of tarot or doing tarot, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. And then like what's your favorite deck and things like that. Let me know what you like the best. And let me know if you are predicting your future. What do you use to predict the future of yourself or others and whatnot? And how has that helped you? Is it helping your intuition or is it hurting it? Anywho, this is just my experience. And so I decided to just take a break. And I said, you know what? Instead of trying to predict the outcomes of situations, what happens if I start listening to my own intuition? And how do I do that if I don't use oracle cards or consult my spirit guides or things like that? Like, how do I do that? And then how do I consciously create, right? Because I want to consciously create. So like, let's say you watch a tarot card reading. Most of them are like, fluffy and it feels good. That tells you X, Y, and Z, right? And you're like, oh, I don't really like this one. Like, is this how my month's going to go or my week's going to go or whatever? And then your month and week kind of end up like that, right? So it's sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And I was like, I don't want to base my life decisions and things like that on outside circumstances. I want to be a conscious creator, right? Like Abraham Hicks talks about, like, I really want to be a conscious creator. I don't want someone else to tell me how my life is going to go. I want to be like, no, this is how my life's going to go. And also at the same time, not be so concerned with the future, right? To be more in the present. And then also at the same time, because this is like kind of paradoxical, at the same time, be open to infinite possibilities, right? So even if I do say this is how I want my day to go or my life to go, I also want to be open to infinite possibilities. And I was like, how can I do all this? There's a funny thing about spirituality and law of attraction and manifestation, living up to your highest potential, is that it's all sort of paradoxical. And like, as you go through these spiritual awakenings or downloads or scientific upgrades, whatever you want to call them, everything becomes like a paradox. And P.S. I'm an overanalyzer, as you can see. So I overanalyze anything. I'm like, oh my God, how is this possible? Like, how am I going to do all of this? Right. So anyhow, I started to go on this journey, right? And I've been on many, many journeys, guys. But I started thinking, like, how can I do this? There's got to be a way, right? And then I started to really question, right? So I got into witchcraft too as well. And witchcraft is awesome, like spell work, things like that. It's really all intertwined, okay? So like alchemy, manifestation, witchcraft, spell work, predicting the future, tapping into your psychic awareness. It's all scientific and metaphysical, and they're all sort of intertwined. So whatever you're doing is great for you. And I got this book called Psychic Witch. Why I can't remember who wrote the book, I have no idea. So anyway, a lot of what I couldn't understand, okay, wait, let me back up a little bit. Okay. First thing is when you're manifesting something, right? Or doing spell work for something, or trying to predict your future for something, I really never asked myself the real question of like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I want to know my future? Why do I want to create more money? Why do I want to create this, right? And obviously for the basic reasons, right? Like you want safety, security, you want to make sure everything's going to be okay, that you're making the right decisions, that, your life is going to be grand, of course, right? But I mean like a deeper level of understanding why. So on a different note, the reason I bought this book, Psychic Witch, is because I was really getting into spell work. And I was like, all right, well, why are some of the spells working, some of them not? Or same thing, why are my manifestations working and why are some not, right? And I was like, I really got to figure out what's going on here. And then this guy talks about, tapping into your intuition. So everything is tapping into your intuition. Everything's tapping into your higher self, your spirit guides, things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Why isn't this working for me, right? And everyone talks about the power of your mind, right? So anyway, I was buying all the stuff for the spell work and whatever. And, it was kind of tedious and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not part of a coven or anything like that, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm part of anything. It's just, I was just dabbling in it. And he talks about that your mind is way more powerful than your tools. And I was like, oh, so you don't really need these tools. And he like straight up says, you don't need these tools to practice witchcraft. Now, witchcraft is really manifestation, which is also alchemy, which is also law of attraction and law of cause and effect and, whatever. So, or self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know. It's all intertwined. And I was like, my power of my mind. Okay. So when I'm trying to predict my future, right, and I'm trying to manifest, and I'm like, why am I doing all of this? Why? What am I trying to do? And it was like, sort of I came to this thing, like I was trying to prevent things from happening or prevent pain or alter the future. And really that's what we're all trying to do is alter the future, right? Alter the future. But then we're trying to predict the future outcomes, right? Stay with me here. So I'm like, this is all very confusing, very confusing. So anyway, I was like, okay, so I started reading this book and he says, go back to the beginning. Okay. He's like a really high level witch and he's like, everybody's got to go back to the beginning. Everybody, because what happens is you get lost. Pay attention to what I'm saying. You get lost in the tools of the trade or whatever. So same kind of concept with tarot and people who dabble in manifestation and witchcraft, right? You're so focused on creating something. And you got all these tools, and you got these crystals, and you got these oils, and you got these books, and you got these tarot cards, and you got the scrying pan, and you got this, you got the herbs. I was like, oh my God, it's exhausting. And so you put power outside of yourself. And I was like, what? So really, the power lies it within you, right? And I have a journal. I'll show you, like, I created it and I will post it for you that you can buy. It's awesome. The magic lies within you, which will hopefully be a book. Anywho, that's a journal. So it's got like some pages and stuff for you to write on, and I'll link it below. And so the power lies within you, and you're giving your power away to your tools, right? And then you also lose sight of why you want something. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started to take inventory. So right now, as I'm talking, take inventory of why you're doing all these things, okay? So a couple things I had to put inside my brain. Stay with me here. So I was like, okay, power outside myself. I got to bring it back into me. I got to pay attention to my own intuition, my own energy, my own feelings, and stop giving away my power to all these tools. Because my brain is so fucking powerful that it can create without the tools, right? Because we've all consciously created and manifested and made magic in our lives without even knowing that we were doing it. Now we became aware of it, and for some reason, we think we need tools, which tools are extremely helpful. But really, we have to come back to the basics of how did we do it, what worked for us individually, how we can tap into ourselves, and then add some more tools to make it more magical, I guess, right? And then do we even need the tools at that point? But we'll get there. So I started looking at tarot, and I was like, why am I looking at tarot? Okay, I was looking for, right, you guys know I got a divorce, or in the process of divorce, or whatever we are. And I was like, oh, when's my next relationship? Or what do these people think of me? Or what's my career going to be? Or what am I going to do with my life? Or how I'm going to make more money? Or how I'm going to do this, right? So I was looking into, okay, I'm watching the tarot cards for them to tell me how my life's going to go, right? And I'm like, why am I doing that? Why? And then why am I taking whatever the tarot card reader is saying or whatever comes out in the tarot cards as 100% truth? Because they're just a, what's the word? They're just a possibility, right? So we take it as 100% truth, but it's really a possible outcome, right? We don't actually know the outcome. It's one of hundreds of millions of thousands of outcomes. And we're like, no, that's going to be the outcome, especially if we like what we hear. And then what I was realizing is what's in our subconscious is what comes out into our reality. So a lot of times when we're watching these readings or these tarot cards, whatever's in here is coming out. So then I was like, well, is it what's inside my brain that I want to see coming out in the cards? Or is it like, you know, better than that? You know, is it right? Does that make sense? Like, I know I'm being paradoxical today, and it can be somewhat confusing, but I hope you guys are following. Please leave in the comments below if you are following. So I'm like, well, if it's in my brain, if 98% of what's in my brain comes out in front of me, it's basically like the tarot cards are telling me what I want to hear. Every once in a while, they would tell me what I didn't want to hear, or I would find a reading that did tell me what I wanted to hear, or I'd keep pulling cards until it told me what I wanted to hear, right? So I really wasn't listening to my intuition. So maybe that first set of tarot cards or whatever that I said, you know, was correct and told me what I didn't want to hear, and then I forced whatever I wanted. But that's how powerful our brain is that we're searching for that information to reinforce either what we want to hear or we already know, and not necessarily maybe what we need to hear and what we don't already know. Does that make sense? Okay. So then I was thinking, okay, well, why do I want to create whatever? Why do I want to, create more money? Why do I want to create this? And why am I forcing it to happen, right? So I realized it's coming from a place of lack, the feeling that I don't have something, right? And we talk a lot about this with the law of attraction, is that if you want to attract what you want, you need to become, right, that person, or feel those feelings and think those thoughts of what you want to attract. And so what I realized is that let's say money, right? Because when I left my ex, I had a business, but it was a side hustle, right? It wasn't my career at the time. I wasn't making enough money to support my family. And so I was in a lot of lack, like, shit, what am I going to do? I don't have enough money now, right? And so all of my manifestations and my spell work was around money, right? And then I felt like the more money, the more things that I did to get money, it was almost like money wasn't coming, right? Right? Because I'm so focused on the fact that I had no money, right? That it was all of my stuff was coming from sort of like a place of lack, right? And then I was like, oh, well, this isn't really helpful now, is it? Anyway, so I'm just kind of showing you how my thought process went, which is pretty scattered, guys. Let me know if your thought processes get scattered too, okay? And then I was like, well, so then he was like, well, you got to go back to meditation. And I was like, fuck meditation. Oh my God. Now, I love meditation. When I sit down and meditate, I love it. I love Yoga Nidra. I love the Gateway tapes. I love it. But I don't like, I'm not going to be like, woo, I'm going to go meditate. And I hope I get there one day. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go, do a spell, or I'm going to go do some tarot cards, or I'm going to go do some conscious manifestation. Well, what he talks about is what every other spiritual guru talks about. Meditate. Go back to the basics, because the power of your mind is so fucking insane that you need to learn how to control it. You need to figure out how to basically block everything, get to a certain wavelength in your brain through meditation. And that is how you tap into all your senses. So at the end of the day, I was like, okay, well, this makes sense going back to the beginning, right? To figure out how powerful my brain really is, right? And in order to figure out how powerful my brain is, I have to be able to control basically my brain. My brain. I have to be able to tell it what to do. Because if I can't tell it what to do for me, how the fuck am I going to tell it what to do out there? Right? Okay, let me just take a deep breath and take it all in what I'm saying to you. Because I'm confusing myself. Okay. So then I was like, well, all right, let me do a couple of these practices. Let me do some meditations. Okay. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? What is the end goal here? Right? Okay. Let's say I have all this money. I have the relationship. I have the great job. I have all of that. Right? Is this all going to make me happy? Right? And I was like going back and forth in my mind, like, trusting myself, my intuition, magic, law of attraction, manifestation. Anyway, I came to the conclusion. I kept asking myself, this is a Tony Robbins and Team Graziosi thing, right? Why do I want this? Why is this important to me? Why do I want this? Why is this important to me? Why is this important for me to find out my future? Why is it important for me to create my future? Why is it blah, 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 and kept going. And eventually I got to the point where I realized that what I really wanted and what I really was trying to achieve was that I really wanted to 1000% listen to my intuition and follow through with it so that I felt like every decision I made was correct and bringing me towards my goals, right? And then when I was thinking about why do I want to be powerful, right? Because at the end of the day, when we have these superhuman abilities, we are powerful, right? We are superhuman. If you are doing manifestation, right, it's considered superhuman, right? If you're doing witchcraft, superhuman. If you can predict the future, superhuman. So what you're going for is power. And I was like, why do I want to be powerful? Or like, why am I going for this? What is this? What am I trying to achieve by doing these manifestations, doing the magic with the tarot? Why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? And what I realized was that I was trying to reach my highest potential. I want to see what I am capable of, right? As a human being. Like, if there are people out there that can do this, like, I want to see if I can do it too. And so as I was going on this journey, and I will get to how to tap into your manifestation in a moment, but I just wanted to see how I got here so that you can kind of get here too, is that the end goal was that I actually want to listen to my intuition, follow through with it so that I feel content and happy and joyful with my decisions, and that the decisions come with ease, that I don't have to be confused and consult tarot to help me make a decision. Or for, like, if I have a lot of friends, and I do this too, that consult tarot in terms of like, well, what does so-and-so think of me? Well, what does your intuition tell you about what so-and-so is thinking about you? If so-and-so is not texting you, not giving you the fucking time of day, they don't give a fucking shit. You watch 1,000 tarot cards and that person gives shit about you. You don't want to listen to the truth, right? So another thing that I came to realize is that I also want to tell the truth to myself, right? And that took me a long time. That's through postpartum depression and my toxic relationship for me to finally tell myself the truth, which means I was finally listening to my intuition. I was finally listening to myself. So that's kind of how I came to this part where I was like, okay, I really want to start paying attention to my intuition, and I kind of want to shut out all this outside noise so I can focus on myself and make decisions that are aligned with me, so that I always feel like I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing at the right time, that my decisions are always correct, right? And that no matter the decision I make, it's always correct. And in fact, you'll find that all the decisions you've ever made are always correct, and they're always leading you to your highest good. Right, wrong, and different. Even if you think it led you to the wrong place at the wrong time, it always led you to the right place at the right time, so it could bring you back. Sometimes we have to take detours to get back on track. And that's what you'll find when you start listening to your intuition. So let's get into how you can start doing that. All right. So there's a couple different ways, but we're going to go through one at a time and then just choose one for today. Because when you take in a lot of information, especially in this world, you want to try and do everything, right? You're like, oh, I got this idea, I got this idea, I got this idea. And you're like, oh, I'm going to just consume all this information. And then you're like, I just can't do it. Or you do it for like 2 days and then you don't continue. So I'm going to show you what I did, and it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it will help you get in touch with your intuition, okay? So, number one, put all of the, if you're consulting tarot or you're reading tarot or you're scrying or whatever, just put this all aside and stop thinking about your future. I want you to start thinking about now, because your past, present, and future, it's all happening at the same time. So if you put all of your attention onto what's going to happen, you're missing what's happening right now, okay? And the way that you pay attention to your intuition is to be in the now, right? Like right now, I'm in the now with you, and all the information that I need is coming to me and it's coming out, right? So I'm not focused on something else. I'm focused on being here with you and with me. And as you focus more on being in the present, you will start paying attention to your intuition. Now, when you are in the present, you will start picking up on subtle energies, okay? So these subtle energies is pretty much what we call synchronicities, and we call, coincidences or whatever. And or empathic abilities or your sixth sense or whatever. It's happening when you're feeling in the present. You're able to pick up these subtle energies, right? Now, what we don't realize is we are so consumed with this, right? And this, and the TV, that we don't even pay attention. So we want to open up all of our senses. We want to live up to our highest potential, but then we block it by consuming a million things of material, looking at our phones, reading all these books, listening to podcasts, blah, blah, blah. This is what this book talks about, is you have so much noise that you can't even listen to your own intuition. You can't hear it, let alone the subtle energies that are around you, right? Now, some of you are higher level and maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about and you're still listening, and that's great. Like, good for you. Leave in the comments below what you did to listen to your intuition. But some of you are beginners, right? And I'm always saying that I'm a beginner. No matter where I am, I'm always beginning again. I'm always going back to the beginning, the basics, right? That's the whole purpose of me doing this podcast and all the challenges that are coming up. So anyway, no matter where you are, you always want to realize that we have so much noise, okay? So get rid of the noise, right? Take some time to get rid of the noise and get in the present, okay? Now, as you're in the present, you will be able to pick up these subtle energies, right? You'll be able to tap into your intuition. And instead of being like, well, what do I want to do today? Or should I do this? Or should I do that? There'll be less of, is this a better option? Or is that a better option? Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I invest in this? Should I watch that? Should I talk to that person or not? Right? What's this person think of me? Where am I supposed to go? Okay? Because you're weighing the decision. So how you'll know when you're tapped into your intuition is the decision will just be made, because both decisions are correct, right? No matter what you choose. And then you're going to go with what feels more aligned with your values and goals, right? What feels good. So decisions will be easier to make, right? So you will literally follow through with whatever your inner self is telling you is the best, right? Your authentic self is the best decision. Now, so first thing is, you got to start being in the present. So real quick, you can do this. Anytime that you feel like you are stuck between decisions or things are happening, ground into your body. I don't know if you guys know grounding practices, but a real quick one that I do is become aware of my five senses, right? What 5 things I hear, 5 things I see, 5 things I smell, 5 things I taste, 5 things I feel. Did I say it? Hear, see, smell, taste, feel? Did I say all this? Okay, immediately, so that I can become aware of my surroundings using my actual 5 senses, right? Then I'll see if I can push those senses to, let's say, something that's easier, smell something else, or hear more things, or see something I haven't seen, right? And then I'll tell my brain to show me something I haven't seen before, or show me something that makes me smile, or or let me hear something, right, that I haven't heard before. So I'm trying to enhance these 5 senses first, right? Because these are our 5 senses that are happening in this 3D reality. Now, if you're not tuned into those, how the flying F are you going to tune into the subtle energies that are out here? Right? All the other senses, like where you could hear other things, where you could see other things, where you could see behind the veil, right? You can't possibly tap into those other senses until you have at least mastered 1 or 2 of these senses, right? Or all of them. So coming into the present and tapping into those senses is going to help you to sense those subtle energies, okay? So present, ground, become aware of your surroundings. Now, what I've been doing with my intuition is always asking myself, what is going to, when making a decision anyway, what is going to get me where I want to go? Or what is going to bring me more happiness? Or what is going to, what is more in line with my values and goals in life, right? So if I'm weighing 2 decisions, if it doesn't come automatic, right? If it doesn't immediately come automatic, just go with this one. Then I'm going to be like, okay, well, what is in line with where I want to go? And then I make a decision based on that, right? Immediately. I'm like, nope, this one's going to go. And now I may say, oh shit, I should have gone that way. But then I'm like, no, I'm always in the right place at the right time. I listen to myself. Okay. And you really want to go with whatever your higher self is telling you. So you always ask, or you ask your future self. So I either ask my higher self, whatever's up here, or my future self. I'll be like, what would my future self do or tell me to do? Tell me to do, right? Okay. So that's a good way to make a decision. Now I want you to also tapping into how you feel, what you need, in every moment builds your intuition. All right. So if you notice that maybe you're feeling a bit anxious, or you're feeling a bit scattered, or you're happy, or you're sad, or you don't know how you feel, right? Tapping into this energy of how you feel and what's going on with your body is going to help you understand yourself, what feels good and what doesn't. And then not only doing that, but then you're going to start following through. So I'll give you an example. One of the practices I'm going to do in the 30-day challenge that's coming up on Monday is that we're going to tap into ourselves every couple hours. So you're just going to sit for a second and you're going to ask yourself, how do you feel right now? And you could say, feel like I feel my sweatshirt, or you can, or actually both. How do I feel right now? So like right now I feel a little anxious, right? Because I'm doing this, but I also feel really happy and I feel excited. And then you can tune into your body where you feel tension. I feel a little tension in my lower back because of the way that I'm sitting. And I feel a little heaviness like right here. Okay. And then I'm going to ask myself, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? Do I need a hug? Do I need to take a deep breath? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to do video? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to get something to eat? What is it that I need, right? And then I'm going to go and do it. Whatever comes to my head that I'm like, yeah, that's what I need, I'm going to go and do it. Now, the tricky part is that you have to do this pretty much as often as you can, and to the point where you're getting it all the time. Okay. Because what you're doing is building trust in yourself again, and building trust in your intuition that your body and your energy and your intuition knows what's best for you. And not only are you listening to it, but now you're paying attention to it and you're going for it, right? Does that make sense? So that when bigger things come up, you can ask yourself with decisions and books you want to read or places you want to go or things you want to do or whatever. You ask yourself, what do I need or what is best for me right now? And then you just do it. You just go and do it. No matter how crazy it sounds, right? You just go and do it. It just happens automatically. If you're like, oh, I just feel like going upstairs for a second, and you go upstairs and, you know, at work and you meet somebody, right? And you have a great conversation, like, then you're gonna be like, that's a synchronicity. That's me following through with my intuition, listening to it, living up to my highest potential, going to the places where I need to be. So that you're tuning into your energy level, right? Your feelings, and asking yourself, what do you need? And then you're going and doing it. Go and do it. So that you build trust in yourself. Because really what's happening is when you're putting your power outside of yourself is you don't trust your own judgment. You don't trust who you are. You don't trust your decision-making skills. You don't trust where you are in life. And that's why, and I'm saying this because I did it, okay? This is not a judgment zone. This is me telling you that I've done it and I'm still working on it, all right? So it's because you don't trust yourself. So you got to build some trust in yourself, which is building your intuition, right? Building the inner dialogue between you and yourself, right? Okay, got it? All right. Do your best to focus every morning on telling yourself, I 100% follow through with my intuition. I 100% listen and follow through with my intuition. I am intuitive. I listen to my intuition. Okay, you can even use like source in the universe shows me where to go. My higher self shows me where to go, shows me what to do. Things like that, right? Before you go to bed, I 100% follow through with my intuition. I 100% listen and follow through with my intuition, right? So as you begin to do that, you're reprogramming your brain, okay? And then we're setting it up throughout the day for you to reinforce that you follow through with what your body needs, follow through with what your body's telling you to do, follow through with what works best for you, right? So we're following through. So we're reprogramming those brains, creating those new neural pathways inside of our brain. Now, as we do this, we're raising our energy level, right? Raising our vibration, opening our awareness to subtle energies around us. So you will then begin to pick up on certain things that like, I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to hang with this person, or I'm not going to go with that person, or I'm not going to go with this decision. I'm going to go with that one. Now, what's really cool and kind of annoying at the same time is that as you begin to listen to your intuition and raise this level of consciousness up, if you don't know the right decision and you go with something and you're like, oh, I'm just going to do that, the universe will set it up so that like it either doesn't happen or does happen, right? The universe is like, no, you didn't make the wrong decision, but we don't want you with that person, or we don't want you to do that decision. That's going to fall through, okay? So maybe you didn't let's create right away, go this way, okay? So that no matter what happens, even if you go the wrong way or the wrong direction, it will always lead you back towards the right direction. It will always lead you right back on your path, no matter what. And now the more that you do this and the more that you become aware, okay, maybe that situation didn't work out, but it didn't work out because I'm supposed to be going in this direction. You're going to be like, okay, well, that was my initial thought process. So maybe next time I'll go with my initial thought process, right? So the more you keep doing this, the more you keep trusting yourself, the easier it becomes. And the more you stay on your path to whatever it is that you want to create, right? And for me, it's really this 100% follow through, listen and follow through with my intuition and seeing what I'm truly capable of, right? So it's up to you guys what your path is, what your goal is. Maybe you need to get clear on that. But that's a great way. These are great ways to help you do that. All right. And I'm going to leave you with just one more little thing, that I think will really help you, tune in. So what I would do is, well, let me tell you what I did do and now what I do. So I had this, I think I took this intuition course. I take this course or watch a video. I forget what I did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was this intuition practice that you could detect, like it would be like before you go into a room, feel the energies of the room, right? before you go in and see what it feels like. And then when you go into the room, is it the way that you felt before you went into the room? So like if you're about to go into a party, feel the energy before you go into the party, and then go into the party and feel if it's the same thing. Now you can do that, but what I realized is sometimes I would like create that versus detect it. And so what I wanted to do was change that, because if we are conscious creators, again, this is like paradoxical, right? I wanted to consciously create my reality. So what I would do instead would be like, I would go into the party, and I was always right. Like I'd be like, okay, this doesn't feel right. Everything feels off. Then I'd go in and everything would feel off. Then I'd feel off. And then it would be like a little, whatever. Or everybody's excited and everyone's excited, whatever. So what I started doing instead, you can start with that first if you want. I would go up to, let's say, a party, and I'd be like, show me exactly what I wanted. Show me a fun time. Show me great conversation. Like show me dancing, or show me great food, or show me great connections. Show me this. So then I would go in, and then the universe would show me exactly what I asked for. So I think I went from, what's the word? Being like passive with my intuition, passive with my conscious creation, to now being proactive with it. Does that make sense? Being proactive. So that's not really necessarily an intuition thing, but I felt the need to tell you that, that I became more of show me what I want to see, and not specific about it. Like I wouldn't be like, show me good conversation with Joe Schmo. I'd be like, show me great conversation. And if I had great conversation with Joe Schmo or Sally so-and-so or Shaniqua or whatever, like I had great conversation with whoever. Like I wouldn't be like, show me with this person. Like I'd be like, show me a great time. And if everybody else was in a shitty mood, like if you felt that's like, because there's times where I felt that subtle energy when you walk into the room, you're like, ugh, this is like dense. Then I'd be like, show me higher energy vibration, or show me a better time, or show me how it gets better than this. So even though I could feel that there was like this heaviness in the air, I didn't want to be in that fucking heaviness, right? So when you're listening to your intuition and you are aware of these subtle energies, what's great about being aware of the subtle energies is you can shift and change, right? So being aware of the subtle energies, right? Like maybe that person's not a great place, or that place isn't great for you, or you don't want to go there, or that's not in your best interest. Then you can be like, okay, well, even though I feel these subtle energies, that's great, but like, I don't really want to be in that energy. Like I want to be over there, wherever that is, you know what I'm saying? And then, with that, like, let's use the party example. If you're at this party and let's say you're supposed to be there for an extended period of time, and all of a sudden, you just don't feel right. Like, you really just want to leave, but you feel like you can't. You got to leave. Because that feeling is there for a reason, right? Or let's say you're gearing up to go to the party, and you're like, I don't really feel like going. Ask yourself why you don't feel like going. Do you not like these people? Do you not enjoy their company? Are they mean? Are they toxic? Are they not great for you? Like, that is your body telling you this is not for you and you shouldn't go, regardless of what your, thing is. Or make a decision to only go for part of the time and make an excuse to leave early. Like, you don't have to go. You don't have to stay this. Everyone says, oh, I have to do this. You don't have to fucking do anything. There's a choice to be like, nah, I'm not doing it. So it's time to start like listening to that feeling, those feelings, right? And then if I get those feelings, I'll be like, show me a way to get out of this. Right? Because if it's going with these people that I don't enjoy being with, or for some of you, it's going to be your family members, like, and that's hard, right? Because you feel like you're stuck there, but you always have a choice, right? But paying attention to your body, like, this place doesn't make me feel good. These people don't make me feel good. And is it because they're at a different energy level, or they're toxic or whatever? Well, then you don't need to keep putting yourself in that situation. Like with work, if you dread going to work, I'm not saying quit your job, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Either tell the universe and your brain to show you something better or show you a way out, right? And your brain and the universe will always do what's best for you, whatever's for your highest good, okay? So let's recap, because I was like all over the place today. If you want to increase your intuition, become present. Become aware of your subtle energies. Present in every single moment. If you can try to do this. I try every day. That is my goal, to become 100% present, where my brain is not out here or back here where I miss what's happening right now. All we have is the present moment. What we do in the present moment affects our future. So everything that we do right now affects what's going to happen. All the thoughts, feelings, and emotions affect what's happening in the future. So focus on what's happening right now. Get in touch with your intuition right now, because in the future, your intuition will be sky high. You will be 100% flying at your intuition, right? You will be listening to it. You will be following it, all of that, right? So what you do in the present moment, become aware of your senses, okay? Increase your sensual, increase your senses that you have, your 5 physical senses. Try to push past them a little bit. Close your eyes, hear more, or close your ears and see more, or smell more, right? Or taste more. Try to increase those. Become aware. Okay. 3, how do you feel? Become aware of how you feel, right? Moment by moment. How you feel, what do you need, and go and do that. Go and do that. All right. When you're making a decision, know that every decision you make is correct, right? Doesn't matter what the decision is. You can never make a wrong one. Ask your higher self or your future self, what is the best outcome, or what is the best decision to have the outcome that is best for us, right? It's easier to ask your future self, or what would my future self do? If you had, if you were this other version of you, how would he or she react to this, right? What would you do? 5, tune out all the noise. All the noise has to disappear. All the tarot card readings, all the obsession with social media, all of this obsession with your TV, all of this has to disappear, or at least come down a little bit. Because you will not be able to become aware of your intuition or the future, or how to make decisions, or how to become more powerful or live up to your highest potential if you have too much noise. Too much noise. Okay? 6, pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Make decisions based off of your thoughts and feelings, right? Not make decisions. Yes, when we talked about the party, you think about the party example. That's what I'm trying to say. The party example. Okay. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. So it's the opposite. What do I feel like I need to go, right? What doesn't feel good? Run away, right? And there's a difference between fear, right? Something being unsafe, and your intuition. So you have to tune into your body to figure out what that is, right? I can't tell you what your feelings of fear are, or self-sabotage. I can't tell you what your feelings of a red flag alarm that this isn't good for you is. This is how you become in touch with that, right? And then I would say last one is 7, is use your intuition to become a conscious creator. Create your life the way that you want it to be, right? And be open to infinite possibilities. The thing with building your intuition, getting in touch with it, is being open to whatever is best for you, right? Being open into infinite possibilities, not a closed mind, it's an open mind, right? Open to, okay, well, maybe I should go here today. I don't know how it's going to work out. Let's go and find out, right? My body's telling me to drive to the store today. I'm going to drive to the store. I don't know. Maybe I'll find something that I've been looking for. Maybe I'll find a person I've been looking for. It's not to second guess yourself or question why you're doing something. No, today I feel like doing this, right? And consciously create. Show me more happiness. Show me more love. Show me how it gets better than this. Show me what else is possible. All right, getting in touch with that. So that's 7 ways to increase your intuition. I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave in the comments below if it was. Give me a thumbs up. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I do want to give you an update. There is going to be a 30-day challenge coming up. On Monday. Tap into your highest potential, start living your highest potential. I'm going to go through several different exercises as well as the reasons of why I'm doing this. So I will upload another video of why I decided to do this for you guys. And I'm also filming a small documentary on my journey over 30 days of living up to my highest potential, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful souls. As always, I'm sending you so much light and love. Until next time.